Hello YouTube and welcome to the new episode of the Movie Zone with me, your host, Jonathan aka the Doctor of Movies, and today I get to talk about my first movie of 2016, even though this movie came out in 2015, but it was wide release in this year, and that is Leonardo DiCaprio's The Revenant, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and of course Tom Hardy, directed by Alejandro Inarritu. Now first of all, we don't know who Alejandro Inarritu is. He was also the director of Birdman from last year, considering the reigning defending movie Oscar champion from that year. He might win again, who knows. But this movie is very different. Now last year I didn't really know anything about him, and I watched Birdman and that was a very good movie. So if you want to check out Birdman, go check that movie out. It's a very good movie. So now I watched this movie and I wanted to check it out because he's one of those directors like I didn't know who he was, and I wanted to see what other movies he has. See if they, if they're any good. Boy, this movie is very good. And this movie is great, actually. I really enjoy this movie for a lot. Well, first of all, you have DiCaprio, he's one of these actors that every movie he makes, no matter what director he performs, he does well. Normally, he ends up being nominated for an Oscar or a Golden Globe or whatever. Sometimes he wins. The one thing he has not won is the Oscar. But you can't win them all. Now in this movie, DiCaprio plays a character from I think the 1800s. Really hard to tell what century it is, but around that time. Basically, he has to get pelts to sell, to survive, yada yada yada. And then, of course, he has his team, they go out and get pelts, to sell, to trade for other goods, in that area. And of course, they have Native Americans as their comrades, also their neighbors, also their enemies, and they do what they can to survive. Now, also things happen. DiCaprio has a son, and in his movie he was starting to learn his own way, trying to become more than just his son. And then of course you have Tom Hardy, who plays a character. Basically, he's supposed to be DiCaprio's friend and partner in this. And then something happens. DiCaprio gets separated from his group, and then he gets attacked by a bear. Now, the scene that the bear attacks DiCaprio is very gruesome. It's in the trailer as well, but yeah, in this they show a lot. I mean, like blood, the way the bear scratches him. Now, listen, that was a spoiler, but honestly, if you didn't even heard this movie and you're watching this review, probably don't care. But honestly, it's already out now. You should go check it out. But yeah, he gets basically attacked by the bear, and basically he's now left for dead. His team decides, you know what, let's just leave him there. Let's see what happens, right? They move on, and they leave him there. Now DiCaprio has got to figure out, what am I going to do? Do I just stay here and die, or do I survive? And then while he gets himself out of certain predicaments, something happens to his son. Somebody from his group, there's a whole bunch of them in his group, kills his son. Now DiCaprio finds out, and he has to go on this adventure trying to not only survive, but also find the person who killed his son. Now, like I said, I really enjoy this movie. First of all, this movie reminds me of Castaway in a lot of different ways. If you've ever seen Castaway with Tom Hanks, he has to survive on an island. In this case, DiCaprio's got to survive basically the woods. It's cold. You're in the 1800s. There's not really anything you can do to stay warm. And he was just viciously attacked by a bear. So he's got the battle scars. He's got those wounds. He's trying to drag his body from place to place. It's one of those movies like you watch and like, wow, this guy yet still doesn't have an Oscar for some reason. But I don't know. Maybe hopefully this year could be his year. I enjoyed this performance. It's not my top 10 performances of his movie, of his, but it's up there. He does a very good job in this movie. I also thought Tom Hardy does a very good job in this movie. Tom Hardy plays the greedy, selfish, don't give a damn about his teammates. He wants to care for his own self. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that I only gonna look out for myself. If I'm gonna do things this way, that way, I'm gonna just do it. But he did a good job as well. Maybe he might not be nominated for a supporting role, but who knows? But yeah, I really think DiCaprio did a good job in this movie a lot. The direction in this movie was very good. And visually, it's very good too. I think I found out that Alejandro Inarritu, he basically just used natural lighting. So I don't think he used any, like, magic lighting from cameras. I think he used, like, the sunlight, the moonlight to really make this film. Because when you watch it, it feels like you're actually in that movie. And it's very cool how he did it. So I want to see the Blu-ray features of this. See how he really got into it. Because this is a really cool movie. I really like his work now. I can't wait to see what he expands himself to next. But let's see what happens, right? So, is there any problems with this movie? If you're one of those people who think this movie, if you saw the trailer, you think it's all about action, revenge, and all that stuff, and survival. It is, but the action in this movie it's very good. Don't get me wrong, there's good action in this movie. It's not enough. It's not one of those movies you can go get popcorn every 5 minutes and be like, oh my god, this is a great action movie. No, this movie has a lot of talking in it, a lot of pacing, but you have to really watch it to understand this movie for what's, from DiCaprio's point of view, and of course Tom Hardy's point of view, and everybody else's point of view of what this movie is about. But like I said, I'm one of those people who can watch it and really focus on this movie and understand it, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're one of those people who just like action movies and thrillers, this movie not be for you. But if you're one of those movies who appreciates a fine movie like this one, then you should be able to enjoy this movie. Like I said, I like this movie a lot. So if I had to grade it, I'll give it a 9 because I think that, like I said, I didn't find too many problems with this movie. Maybe the only problem I had with this movie was certain pacing in the movie could have been better. But maybe, I don't want to say anything too much about it because I don't want to spoil or anything. But maybe if I get the Blu-ray, I'll talk about it more. But yeah, other than that, there's certain scenes in this movie that could have been paced better. But if you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about. But other than that, I thought the performances were great. DiCaprio, once again, does a great job. Like I said, it's not like top 10 performances of his. But, it's around there. It's maybe the top 20. Maybe he's around there. But he's got other movies that he's really good at. But it does show he's still got it. He's getting older, but he's still great, Hopefully one of these days he gets his Oscar. But, yeah. Let's see what happens. Tom Hardy gets a good job in this movie because he was good. I really like him as an actor. He's really become more than just the action star guy that he was, and in certain other movies he's been, Mad Max he was good in, Batman he was good in, but he's become more of a better dramatic actor, so I enjoy that. So let me know what you think about this movie. Are you gonna see this movie? Did you even heard about this movie? What do you think about DiCaprio? What's your favorite movie with his? Mine's has to be Catch Me If You Can. And, yeah, let's talk about this movie, shall we? So, there you go. My review for the Revenant. I give it a 9, and there you go. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I thank you, and have a good day.